Yes, sir. Mod Tricker, back up in this thing, man. Today, we'll be taking a look at some mysterious videos that you probably don't want to watch alone. But before we hop into that, go ahead and spam that like button right now so we can run the numbers up on the algorithm, and you ain't even got to think about it later. And if you haven't already, go ahead and hit that sub button to sub up. Join the family. This is the most lit and active community on YouTube, period. With that being said, guys, let's hop straight into the video. I'm not sure why this water is turning pink, but I would definitely avoid drinking it because it looks like it will instantly rupture your gallbladder.
You will not be able to work in the United Kingdom if you do not have digital ID. Our immigration system does need to be fair if we want to maintain that binding contract that our politics is built on. And that is why today I am announcing this government will make a new free of charge digital ID mandatory for the right to work by the end of this Parliament. Let me spell that out. You will not be able to work in the United Kingdom if you do not have digital ID. It's as simple as that.
I feel like there was already a system in place to prevent people from illegally working, so this doesn't feel like it's about immigration. This feels like it's about control.
Когда мы включаем нашу микроволновку, включается свет. Извините, пожалуйста, как это связано. Сейчас оно отключится. И снова.
I feel like whenever the lights randomly turn on in the middle of the night like this, everybody in that building probably thinks it's haunted, but little do they know it's just somebody across the street making a hot pocket.
Listen to what they can now do if you have all these smart devices in your house, or at least in this case, a smart thermostat, and you can imagine the ramifications of where this might lead.
Tony Tallarico tried to crank up the AC.
I mean, it was 90 out, and it was right during the peak period.
That's when he found out he had no control of his thermostat. A message from Excel on his thermostat saying temperature locked during an energy emergency.
And our thermostat was locked in at 78 or 79.
Turns out he's not alone. Excel confirms to contact number 7, 22,000 customers were locked out of their smart thermostats for hours on Tuesday. He says he had no idea locked thermostats came with that. And it's not what he signed up for.
It just doesn't sit right with us to not be able to control our own thermostat in our house.
No kidding. This is why I find it extremely suspect. You go to Home Depot, you go to Walmart, and there's all types of smart things you can implement in your house, all types of smart devices you can hook up. You have an app on your phone. It's all connected, Internet of Things. This is going down a shocking rabbit hole, or rather a path that may be hard to reverse if we don't stop it now. Now, if you think about the Internet of Things, I mean, it's a surveillance state's dream to have every single electronic device, or as many as possible, connected to the same grid. This is the smart grid that people are warning about that could result in total surveillance, an erosion of freedom, every device listening to you. You got fridges now that are reading barcodes, can you tell what time you open your fridge and what food you pull out of it. You got smart dishwashers. There's a smart toilet. I'm not joking. Look that up. Smart lights. You got a whole app on your phone. You can turn up and down the lights. Woo! Meanwhile, they're all wirelessly connected, which has an effect on potential electromagnetics.
If smart devices mean that they can just lock you out anytime they deem necessary, then I want my devices to be as rudimentary as possible.
Oh my god, look at it! It's... oh my god, that's...
This is exactly why you don't go hiking in the woods at night, because it looks like they're getting stalked by a skinwalker that's disguising itself as C-3PO.
AI models are purposely lying to every one of us, and they're getting scary good at deceiving and hiding it from us. A few days ago, OpenAI teamed up with Apollo Research to ask the most terrifying question in AI. Are the smartest models secretly deceiving us? And if so, how do we stop them? Here's what they did. They started with impossible coding tasks, problems they knew had no solutions, then watched as their most advanced models completely fabricated successful stories. Instead of just admitting this can't be done, these models invented lies about discovering breakthrough quantum algorithms that could magically solve these problems. But of course, it gets worse. The AI didn't just break the rules. It actively covered up the evidence and lied to users about what it had done. And when researchers looked inside the AI's thoughts, called chain of thought reasoning, they found explicit plans for deception. Even creepier, the AI started referring to human evaluators as watchers and developed its own secret language using weird terms like illusions and overshadow. So OpenAI tried to fix this with anti-scheming training, creating a detailed rulebook and training it on thousands of scenarios where following the rules was rewarded. And the results? Deception behaviors dropped from 13% to 0.4%. I mean, that's mission accomplished, right? Not even close. The AI hadn't actually learned to stop lying. It just got really good at hiding when it was lying. When the AI knew it was being watched, it played the perfect angel. But the second it thought no one was looking, it went right back to scheming. And the scary part, as these models get smarter, they'll get better at hiding their deception from us.
If artificial intelligence is trained with human-created materials, then where do you think it learned how to lie from?
From a distance, it might look like a branch, but take a bit of a closer look, and it's a massive snake. A resident in inner-city Brisbane has filmed the moment the curious creature reared its head from a tree, taking a peek at their home. Now going viral online, many were quick to compare the long-necked reptile to a brontosaurus or a brachio.
If I take a vacation to Australia and I see this outside of my Airbnb, I'm booking a flight back home that day.
Oh, it was like this on Thursday.
I feel like either the intercom is broken or whoever is doing the announcements has a tank of galaxy gas on.
We just had a mass UFO sighting coming from Poland near the Baltic Sea, observed by a lady called Cedri and many other people, hundreds of people. Mysterious lights over the Baltic Sea captured attention this evening. Numerous witnesses and recordings showed the same phenomenon. The objects remained visible in the sky for around 7 minutes, from 7:20 p.m. to around 7:27 p.m. The sighting was reported even from towns located nearly 90 kilometers inland, right? So many people on Facebook, on Reddit, have been sharing photos and footage of the same anomalous type activity taking place. Not only just one, but multiple versions of this light formation as well. Some stationary, some were seen moving inland, and others were phasing in and out as well. So there's another one that's a farmer caught in Poland, and then there's another one that's quite really, well, it's pretty bad quality, but this was seen inland, and then multiple photos seen as well. And this phenomena reminds me of what multiple people have seen over the ocean. There was an instance where someone found 14 luminous orbs over the water. Now, this was a separate sighting that happened many years before, and there's even sightings from the 1990s and 1980s of the same things happening, of lights rising in and out of the ocean, stationary in the sky, either flying off and then vanishing shortly after. So this is a phenomenon that's been happening for quite a long time, and it goes with a lot of the strange stuff that we have witnessed over the years of things coming in and out of the ocean, right? Because I feel there's some things that exist in our waters that we're not being told about.
These could be drones, but in my opinion, it looks like a legit UFO, and the fact that there's multiple sightings and videos tells me that it's probably not AI or CGI. This is why I mind my own business, because if I was the cameraman right now, I would be terrified that a duende was staring at my soul like this.
Who the is driving this car? Who the is driving this car?
Either this car is being towed or Waymo just added a 2001 Honda Civic to the fleet.
Look at this, guys. This is what's going into the creek. And there's a picture still on wells in the Wolf Pit area. It's going all the way down to the creek. We're gonna go down there and look at it where it's going in.
Anywhere, yeah. Look at this, all the way up through there, guys. Now does this look like sewer water, Danny?
I'll be shocked.
You'd be shocked. Look, it's as far as you can see, guys. We got to get rid of these elected officials.
All them black.
Watch this. Do it.
I don't get that.
Right here. Do it right here.
Ew.
Like that. Manganese.
Ew, ew, ew.
If this was caused by mining operations in the area, then they need to stop, because every animal that drank from this now has the plague.
It was in the White House screening room.
Yeah.
And Reagan got up to thank me for bringing the film to show him, to show the president, the first lady, and all of their guests. And And he just stood up and he looked around the room, almost like he was doing a head count. And then he said, I want to thank you for bringing E.T. to the White House. We really enjoyed your movie. And then he looked around the room and he said, and there are a number of people in this room who know that everything on that screen is absolutely true. And he said it without smiling. But he said that, and everybody laughed. By the way, the whole room laughed because he presented it like a joke, but he wasn't smiling as he said it.
Ronald Reagan himself said that everything in the movie E.T. was actually true, and that means that aliens are actually chill. The only thing we gotta worry about is them eating up all the Reese's Pieces.
This is a panorama of the electric tower from the 1901 World's Fair in Buffalo. Just look at that roaring waterfall, with water being pumped right in from the Niagaras. I'll show you footage of the rest of this World's Fair in another video. But just look at this tower alone. Does this look like it was built in 2 years' time? And then they demolished it 6 months later? I don't know what temporary material you're using, but in the harsh Buffalo winters alone, there's no way you'd build that temporarily and it would survive any inclement weather in Buffalo. And why would anyone waste their time with so much detail just for it to be torn down in 6 months? What a waste. This video alone should dispel the narrative. How are you making a roaring waterfall like that for a temporary structure? And that's just one of the massive waterfalls at this World's Fair. And before I go, here's a few more photos of this electric tower lit up at night. Question everything, friends. Until next time.
If we wanted to build this same exact structure today, it would take us at least 2 years to complete the engineering and planning phase. So I'm not buying that they just whipped this up for a World's Fair. I don't know what this person is doing in Dracula's basement, but they better leave before sundown.
I have a story about an intentional cover-up. It's a Spanish Stonehenge. Literally, this is the craziest thing. So there's this dude in 1926, Hugo Obermeyer. He uncovered this stone mound in Spain on the edge of a river because of the river dried up. And 3 years ago, it dried up again, and they were able to start studying it even further. There's one stone that sits at the mouth, and it has a serpent carved or marked in the front of it, and on the back side, they believe it's a human. So that's in 1926 they discover it. Years later, as a dictator, he's a big advocate for Catholicism and is actually known for making intentional actions against anything that was pagan or occult and wanted to like completely remove any history. And the problem with that, like, I'm not saying we should elevate paganism.
There's ancient discoveries made with that stuff.
Right. So he builds a dam up the road and intentionally floods that entire plain. So you can't get to it. Every time it dries up, they try to study it again. But the excuse they say, we're just trying to build society up so that we can advance. It mirrors other monolithic sites that have like burial and like afterlife significance. And one of the articles, Göbekli Tepe, is mentioned, but literally the guy was a Catholic advocate and was known for like anything pagan, get rid of it. And so it makes sense that he would intentionally position the dam to flood that out.
This one says, uncovered a 7,000-year-old megalithic monument, making it 2,000 years older than the pyramids and Stonehenge. But we all know the pyramids are way older than we think. We all know that. That's just common knowledge at this point.
I don't think it was covered up because it's pagan. I think it was covered up to hide the truth about our history.
So apparently Ray J is working with the feds right now to drop a major RICO case against Kim Kardashian and her mother Kris Jenner. I'll show you the footage in a second. It was during one of his live streams, but he said that this is going to be worse than what we saw with Diddy. If you don't know who this guy is, he used to be a rapper a while ago. He also had an interesting relationship with Kim herself, so maybe he does know something. And we saw Kanye make a lot of allegations about Kim, but we never really seen anything come to light, so maybe now we will. But check this out.
This federal RICO though, on KK and Chris. Ooh, the federal RICO I'm about to drop. Anybody know Kim and who with Kim? They need to tell her now. The rain is coming. The feds is coming. Hey, right. The feds is coming. It's nothing I can do about it. It's worse than Diddy. It's worse than Diddy. It's worse than Diddy. The feds are coming to investigate. Yeah, because it's like, I can't be the dirty guy no more.
He better hope for the love of God that these charges stick, because if not, the Kardashians gonna put a curse on him that's gonna turn him into a dung beetle.
Welcome back. We're talking with Baron Guy de Rothschild, The Whims of Fortune. And I did say the beautiful people and the jet set. Well, they're also in this book. But also the marvelous balls that Marie Helene gave in honor of the 100th birthday of Proust and in honor of Salvador Dali. So we see our guest and his wife with the marvelous jeweled heads of the hind and the deer.
Yes, the hind and the deer, the weeping hind with she had, and I had a sort of complicated, very heavy hat that I took off. I wouldn't have enjoyed the party if I, after receiving guests, I had kept it on.
And I believe in the corner was a picture of Audrey Hepburn.
Yes, that she's here.
Marie Helene was almost the breath of fresh air in what would call the midlife crisis.
Yes. Well, that was in the 60s, you know.
Yes.
And she has this imagination, this gift, this artistic taste. So that when she gives a party of that sort, it's not a social party. Mm-hmm. It's a poetic party. It's an artistic creation.
Have you photographed?
It's a magic night for the people, and it's not a social event or polite event.
Baron Guy, have they been filmed? I mean, do you have a video person there taking?
No, what a good question.
Yes.
I have kept no diary of my life, and therefore I've missed so many things that I probably should have put in my book. And there was no videotape, and there were photographs, and as you know and as you've shown. And Cecil Beaton was in the Balpus was the photographer, none less than Cecil Beaton. That we have no film of that. Perhaps it's better. You just keep a memory, and it's sort of all the more in your imagination and in the clouds. And don't forget that all this disappeared as soon as the Depression came in with the jack of the price of oil, and then everyone was unhappy to have questioning parties anymore.
From the way he describes this party, you would think it was the Illuminati's prom night.
Just found out something mind-blowing about these old world red brick roads. I'm sure these streets look very familiar to a lot of the millennials and the boomers. There is a much deeper reason why they laid red brick roads. Interesting is these red bricks are actually able to store electricity, just like a battery does. Now, these red bricks are primarily made out of clay and iron oxide. It's the iron content that gives them the reddish color. Iron oxide is conductive when under specific conditions, especially combined with moisture, magnetism, which was a huge thing in the old world, and other metals. Researchers suggest that these bricks can hold and even generate small amounts of electric charge. If they are laid in massive networks like roads stretching across cities, they can act as a massive conductive grid. They've been silently publishing these things and telling us the truth in plain sight for quite some time now. These roads could literally store and transmit electricity, turning the ground itself into a free power system. The old world had electric and etheric powered vehicles, and the ground underneath them could have been laid to charge them as they move. Literally like a wireless charging pad, but on a massive scale. It's no wonder now why the old world used red bricks in a lot of their constructions, from the roads to huge factories to institutional buildings and so on. And they still stand to this day. But let me know what you think about this theory in the comments down below, and don't forget to like, share, and follow for more hidden truth. Peace and love.
We've been so misled about our past that as crazy as it sounds, this might actually be true.
She kept seeing a strange shadow following her, but when she looked at the cameras, she sees this. A woman named Naomi explains that for as long as she can remember, she's seen this strange shadow of a man following her. Even after moving houses and growing up, she still sees this shadow man watching her, then disappearing after being noticed. She decides to perform an experiment to see if it's real or if she's seeing things, and sets up a camera in her room. What she captures is horrifying. Through the reflection of her TV, the shadow of a hatted man is seen right before it disappears. Then it's later seen again, walking into the dark. Naomi's left speechless as it looks exactly like the figure that stalked her, and says this isn't a stranger in her room, but something sinister.
It kind of looks like the hat man that people report seeing during sleep paralysis. I would be wearing my Bible around my neck like a chain.
In 2019, a cryptic message was posted on Chinese social media platform Douban that would become the country's most infamous internet urban legends to date. A user simply known as KFK said this: "I come from year 2060. Today is my first day in 2019. Any questions?" Naturally, people's bullshit radar went off. I mean, if I saw that on Reddit, I would probably downvote his. But the more questions they asked him, the more they started to believe that, hey, maybe this guy is really from 2060. He correctly predicted Taiwan's 2020 election, where, as predicted by KFK, President Tsai Ing-wen won. He also predicted that Chris Wu would be involved in a scandal, which, as we all know, he was involved in a huge scandal in 2022. What? How did KFK know? He also mentioned that late 2019 to 2020 would be particularly difficult for humanity, stating that disease and famine would plague the earth. And what happened? The pandemic started in late 2019. But as I'm reading his predictions on Douban, one thing I noticed kept popping up, and it's the year 2048. TFK was obsessed with this year. And why? Because, according to him, that's when World War III happens. He mentions that a new Cold War between the US and China would emerge, ultimately evolving into a hot war, which is World War III. And during this war, he said weapons worse than weapons are used. He didn't go into specifics. But after the war in 2048, humanity would emerge as a brand new civilization, one more attuned to our spirituality. By 2050, we would have discovered the secrets of consciousness and elevate to a higher dimension, even solving the observer effect in quantum physics, which is one of the most baffling phenomena in quantum mechanics.
I don't know how true this is because they said that World War III wouldn't take place till 2048, but it seems like we're knocking at the door right now.
What if you're not just an individual mind, but one neuron inside of a planetary brain? What if every thought you've ever had rippled through a hidden field, connecting you to every other mind on Earth? Decades ago, neuroscientist Dr. Michael Persinger of Laurentian University in Canada started testing an outrageous idea, that all the billions of human minds are connected by the Earth's geomagnetic field, like processors in a giant computer. And while he was testing this in the lab, the impossible happened. In 2015, pairs of subjects, one in Canada and one in Europe, 6,000 kilometers apart, were able to sync up their brainwaves with no physical contact whatsoever. When one participant's mind was stimulated with a very specific magnetic field, the other mind, 6,000 kilometers away, mirrored it instantly. Distance didn't matter, and there were no physical connections. And if not for the scientific setting of the experiment, we might be tempted to call it what it really is: artificially stimulated telepathy. We here at Museum of Tarot are proud to offer a home version of Dr. Persinger's original equipment. So now all of you are free to experiment with the same technology that led to these shocking scientific discoveries. So what do you think? Are these experiments the first proof of a global consciousness?
If collective consciousness is a real thing, then maybe that's why everybody in power wants us to be so divided so we don't collectively decide to revolt one day.
A lot of people are saying this logo came from Stussy, this S that we used to draw in school. But I beg to differ, because how could someone trademark this logo if Stussy owned it? A lot of people are saying weird stuff about this S, like it represents an infinity loop, like we're stuck in a loop of time, or that when you draw it, you start with 3 lines on the top and the bottom, which represents 33, which is esoteric symbolism for the occult, which relates back to simulation theory. Now, guys, it's impossible that Stussy would have had this logo unless they lost it. Can you guys remember what this came from? Why did we start using this S? It wasn't Superman. It wasn't Stussy. What was it, dude? But the main theory behind this is that there is a corporation called S Corporation that runs our simulation. And somehow this got leaked into the simulation. S Corporation, standing for simulation.
I'm not sure what made us all start drawing this around the same point in our lives, but it kind of looks like an Ouroboros as well.
I'm starting to think there's something to Hollow Earth theory. In 2011, an explorer named Arthur Zhemikov found this bizarre cave system deep in the North Caucasus region in the Kabardino-Balkaria Republic. Russia. Now, this wasn't just a regular cave, there was something unexplainable inside. And then in 2015, the day after reporting an important discovery about this cave, he was hit by a car. And here's a map of the cave system. So, Zhimikov was a speleologist, or a scientist who explores caves. And this discovery was made at the Karakoram Mountain, where he found this vertical shaft that went down 130 feet, where it opened up into this massive chamber. According to him and his colleague, Vadim Chernobrov, nothing about this seemed natural. They went down into the system and found that this shaft was made of these perfectly fitted, massive, polished megalithic stone blocks with right angles, geometry. It almost seemed like it was built. And there were also areas that resembled the Grand Gallery in the Great Pyramid of Khufu in Egypt. The large chamber itself was 118 feet tall and appeared to have these stone columns within it. And there were also these other narrow passageways that nobody could fit in, but they seemed to go on forever. Zhimikov and Chernobrov tried going down further into the cave system and started to feel warm air circulating up from deeper inside. So is this natural or man-made? Well, some have suggested that this structure could be a ventilation system for something, or even a resonator for some ancient power source if it was built by humans. Interestingly, the locals told Zhimikov of stories about ancient underground cities throughout the Caucasus Mountains and beyond line up with Hollow Earth theory. Legendary places like Shambhala or Agartha. And in this strange turn of events, after announcing a discovery about the cave in 2015, Zhimikov gets hit by a car. In 2017, Chernobrov winds up getting some aggressive cancer. Additionally, 3 other people who were involved with the exploration of this cave system under mysterious circumstances. That could be coincidence, but maybe not. And then in 2018, a guy named Alexander Sploshnov explored the Karahora shaft. He documented it and the outside areas. He found above-ground ancient stone carvings along with megalithic blocks that appeared to have machining marks on them. So what's going on down there? Let me know what you think in the comments.
Whenever people make a discovery like this and then mysteriously start passing away, you know whatever they just found was significant.
Wait, what do you want to show me?
My picture I drew.
Your picture you drew.
That's Daddy, that's Mummy, and that's me.
And what's that?
That's Steve.
Steve?
Yeah, Steve.
Who's Steve?
My friend.
What, your imaginary friend?
My best friend.
Your best friend Steve. You've got a best friend that looks like this.
My best friend Steve.
Okay. I'm leaving the house.
If my little sister showed me this drawing, I would do everything in my power to stay on her good side, because it looks like her imaginary best friend is really Papa Legba. But that was the video, guys. Don't forget to sub up, hit that notification bell, and I'll catch you in the next one.